We're going to get to our next question on our email. Someone hit me and kept going. I had 3 passengers in my car who were injured. I have insurance. What are my options, Michael?
Well, Michael, there's a lot of things you got to explore here. First, someone hits you, you need to know, was that person working for someone? Because anytime you have an accident, you want to make sure you know, is it just a personal mission or is it someone they're engaged in some sort of activity or joint venture for someone else? Because if they are, then not only are you looking at the driver of the vehicle, but you're also looking at that employer who he was doing the task for. In addition to the driver, you also want to look at the owner's insurance, because Florida follows what's called the dangerous instrumentality doctrine, which is a doctrine that we've established that says if you own the vehicle, you are essentially just as liable as the person that's driving the vehicle for any accidents that takes place. So it's important that you know when you let someone borrow your vehicle, you're opening yourself up potentially to exposure. So it's important that you carry adequate insurance. You can't say, I'm a safe driver, I'm going to be okay. You never know what's going to happen. It's important to make sure you have appropriate coverage to protect not only yourself, but anyone else that is driving your vehicle. So you always want to look at those 3 areas of recovery from the person that hits you. Are they working for anyone, the person that was driving the vehicle, and the owner of the vehicle? In addition to that, you have to look at your own policy, and there's several different areas of coverage that may come into play on that. If you live in Florida, I believe you do from that email, you're required to have no-fault PIP benefits. That's up to $10,000 that can pay for lost wages and medical expenses that you uncovered, and that triggers even if you were at fault for the accident. Clearly you weren't here, so it will apply, but even if you had been at fault, you would have those no-fault benefits. In addition to that, you might have what's called medical payments coverage, which is in addition to the no-fault benefits, which will further help you pay for your medical expenses. And then another area of coverage is the liability or underinsured motorist coverage that you may have on your policy, which stands in the shoes for anyone that hits you. If they have not enough or no insurance, it goes and triggers. So for example, if the person that hits you, if all of those struck out, then your underinsured motorist would kick in immediately and you'd be able to make a claim on that. Now, it's a liability claim. There has to be someone that was at fault.
So, but I'm sorry, but Ted, there's 3 scenarios right there that we just talked about. Workers' comp, we've talked about slip and fall real briefly, and now we're taking this question on multiple levels of insurance on a simple car accident case. And what oftentimes may seem as a simple case can be very, very complex.
Yes.
And no matter how simple you think it is, there's always, it's almost like peeling off the layers.
There's always layers, and and whenever you're in an accident, you start getting all of these writings in the mail. And they're trying to get you to settle right away, and they start throwing out terminology and no fault, and you know, that's a question I get all the time. You know, we're a no fault state, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, that's not what it means. No fault means that everybody is required to protect themselves up to the first 10,000. That does not mean that someone that hits you is off the hook for an accident. So it's important that you reach out to somebody that levels the playing field for you, because the insurance companies have professionals working from them from the word go. They are already ready. They do this every day. Their goal is to try to get you on the phone as quickly as possible, get you to say things that will not be good for you in your claim, and then try to get you to settle it quickly before you even know the value of your claim. You know, Chris, we have people walk into the office every day, and they're like, and a lot of them want to ask, you know, well, what do you think my claim's worth? And I tell them very bluntly, I don't know. And anybody that tells you do at this point is lying to you at that point, because you have not had the chance at that point in time early in the claim to get the necessary medical treatment, to know what the healing process is going to take, to know what it's going to take to get you back to where you were before this started. And until you have the time to go through that process, you can't fully comprehend the value of your claim. So it's important that you get the claim started immediately, but then step back, get the information so that you know what's available, and get the treatment that you need to do to get yourself back to being the old you as good as you can.